before the Minnesota Vikings axed general manager Rick Spielman on Monday, there had been some speculation from respectable, reputable sources, not just me, like, it's a conspiracy, man, that pretty Ricky Spielman could have been promoted within the Vikings organization, given the title as, like, team president, blah, 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 blah. But basically, firing via promotion, a la John Elway and the Broncos last year, a la, to a smaller extent, Rick Dennison from O-line coach last season as well. But didn't happen. And Charles Robinson, Yahoo Sports, who's very dialed in with Minnesota sports, and he's also not prone to hyperbole. He put this out yesterday. Wild. Multiple sources believed as recently as early December that Rick Spielman was on track to promotion in the Vikings organization to a senior position that would have placed him between the GM coach layer and ownership. Apparently, some of the Zimmer fallout changed that roadmap. So that last part, the Zimmer fallout, changed that roadmap. So, I mean, again, Charles wouldn't run with this unless it's very well sourced. So, things that make you go, Because even during the season, we had talked about maybe they'll kick Spielman upstairs. He's been with the team for 16 years. Obviously, they respect his opinion, so he could be like consigliere for the team as they get a new GM, new head coach, etc. But that last part, apparently some of the Zimmer fallout changed that roadmap. Wow. So there's a couple things at play here. Number one, the Vikings changed their mind. Like maybe it was the Wilfs' thought to do that with Spielman, sort of give him a golden parachute, give him a nice retirement, nice life, etc. But the feedback on the Zimmer culture that you're starting to seep through the cracks with the Kendricks comments, with the Brian O'Neill comments. I'm sure this week there will be anonymous source comments talking about how toxic the workplace environment was with Zimmer. Spielman, he was a part of that. As a general manager, as the guy who buys the groceries, yeah, you are going to be a part of that. So maybe they're just like, no. So Rick, cut it out. R.I.P. Bob Saget, by the way. Number two, Vikings decided they wouldn't get top tier GM talent if they did have Rick Spielman just hovering over him. And we brought that up as a potential concern because Rick Spielman, still respected in the NFL amongst personnel circles. So you have a top-end GM like a Joe Shane, like a Monty Ossenfort, like a Dobbs, where maybe they wouldn't take the job if Rick Spielman is looking over their shoulder. Plus the whole, it would put him in between the GM coach layer and ownership. GMs generally like to have a direct line of communication with ownership. So going through a middleman just seems like extra bureaucracy. And yeah, there is only 32 GM jobs in the league. So a guy who desperately wants a job, he'll take it, right? Even under not so great circumstances. But also, going down the rabbit hole. So Denver had that dynamic where John Elway was the de facto GM before he promoted himself out of the job, and George Paton took that job. George Paton had been a hot GM candidate for a long time. He had taken interviews, he had turned down interviews, but he finally picked that Broncos job where, yeah, they got some talent there, but that's a weird dynamic where you do have John Elway, a guy who's always going to be loved by the fans. And even though he was pretty meh as a GM, I picked Von Miller. Congratulations for picking Von Miller number 2 overall. But he was always going to get the benefit of the doubt. Peyton, not so much. So the fact that George Paton jumped ship for that job, maybe it shows that maybe George Paton, Kelly Klein saw some writing on the wall, that maybe something did stink in Rotterdam, in Denmark. Something like that. I'm getting all my analogies messed up. It has not been a good couple of days. I'm on medication. But maybe the new GM didn't want to come in because of the potential triangle of authority dynamic, or in not so many steps. Who knows? 3, maybe Spielman was interested in this, and maybe the Vikings were good to go with it, even with that last part of the whole Zimmer fallout. But maybe Spielman was like, I'm not ready to be put out to pasture. I could sit out a year. I could get another GM job right away. I can be another dude who's buying the groceries for another team. And maybe he saw this as being neutered. Maybe he saw this as essentially a firing, and maybe he wasn't interested in a figurehead type role within the organization. It's possible. It's possible. But either way, it didn't happen, even though it was widely speculated. And I even think Pelissero put something out there about it too. But yeah, pretty Ricky. Cut the ties, complete cleaning of the slate, and starting anew, starting fresh. with the Vikings. But your thoughts on our thoughts. Why wasn't Rick Spielman promoted? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.